Ollama is a headless LLM server with over 176,000 stars on GitHub that lets you run open models through any app or agent. That includes Claude Code, Codex, and even OpenClaw. You can point your tools at Ollama, which either manages local models or routes your traffic to hosted models. In Claude Code, for example, you can just change the base URL environment variable to point to your Ollama server. Now, everything works exactly the same as before, but you've unlocked access to hundreds of models instead of 4. Models like GLM, DeepSeek, and even local models like Gemma and Qwen are all available. This is a huge unlock because you can carry on using all the tools you like in exactly the same way, but now you've unlocked access to every model you can think of. Today, we'll test out Ollama, we'll try running open models through Claude Code, and see if it's worth using over other competitors like vLLM and LM Studio. When we launch the Ollama CLI directly, it gives us options to launch other CLI tools like Claude Code or OpenCode, then being able to select our preferred model. Now, I'm inside OpenCode, but I'm running Gemma 4 via Ollama. And now I can type something like, "Are you subscribed to BetaStack?" And if the answer is no, then why not subscribe below this video? We don't even need to go via the Ollama CLI at all. With Claude Code, for example, you can just change the environment variables to point to Ollama, changing the base URL and auth tokens, and now you can just run Claude Code directly, pointing at whichever model you like. The result is now I'm inside Claude Code, I can use it exactly as I did before, but now I'm running it with an open source model. You can even run models directly with Ollama, like running Gemma 4, which is a multi-model. I can ask it questions like to identify what is inside an image. And you can even enter Ollama's harness directly to chat to models like Gemma, so you don't need any third-party tool whatsoever. Okay, so we're in the terminal here, and I'll just type in Ollama to enter the CLI. And you can see here we've got a bunch of options of different agents or harnesses that we could enter. We could just chat to it directly, but in this case, I'm just going to enter Claude Code. And you can see also that the default model, which I've already downloaded, is Gemma 4. So now we're inside Claude Code, and you can see we're on Gemma 4 with high effort. It says API usage billing, but because this is actually a local model, it won't cost us anything at all. So we can type in a message like hello. So once the model replies, you can still see that it still thinks that it's Claude Code, except it's still running the Gemma 4 model. So we get response, hello, I'm Claude Code, your assistant for all things software engineering. So this means you can now just carry on using Claude Code exactly as you did before, but you've tricked it in a way because instead of using Anthropic's models, you're actually using a local and open source model. Now, there are tons of other models available. You can see here at ollama.com/search. We've got the options of many, many models, including things like Qwen 3.6. We've got Minimax. I'm sure we've got, the DeepSeek family is here as well. So basically any popular model that you can think of is going to be available. And to run this, we can just type it in a command like Ollama run Qwen 3.6. And then that will, if the model's not downloaded, start to download that model. So you'd have to wait a while for that to download, but once it's available, you can then run it on your machine. Now let's just check out that image detection script. So I can say Ollama run Gemma 4, and then inside quotes, we say what's inside this image, and then just point it to an image that just happens to be in my downloads folder. And then straight away, very quickly actually, we get a response, and it's analyzed this, and it says that there's a cat in the image, it's a tabby cat, the pose and action, the cat is lying down. All of this is true. And this is the image that it did the detection against. Now, your available memory and system performance really matters when running local models. If you've got less than 24 gigabytes of VRAM, you'll just get 4K of context. 28 to 48 gig of VRAM gets you 32K of context, and more than 48 gig of VRAM gets you 256K of context. Recently, Ollama also made huge updates when running on Mac OS. Back in March, Ollama ported over to MLX for Apple Silicon, which is Apple's machine learning framework. This allows models to take full advantage of your unified memory and allows Ollama to leverage GPU neural accelerators to accelerate both time to first token and generation speed. Basically, it's faster. Aside from your local machine, Ollama can also run inside Docker, so you can run your own services which rely on local models. The docs include a full guide on using Ollama inside a container, either using CPU only or with NVIDIA and AMD GPUs. Then you can launch the model inside Docker and even curl request request directly to it. The API reference also includes several other endpoints you can call. Now, comparing Ollama to other tools. VLM seems far more suited to running models as services rather than a local CLI tool, and is significantly faster for server deployments due to a whole host of performance improvements, like state-of-the-art serving throughput, efficient memory management, and quantization. So if you're running a hosted service, then vLLM may be the better choice. LM Studio is much closer to Ollama in terms of local workflows and also comes with a beautiful GUI. However, I would mention that Ollama does have its own official GUI if that's something you're interested in. There are, of course, tons of other tools in this space like Everything LLM, which we've covered an entire video on here. Otherwise, I hope you found this useful. I've been Warren from BetterStack. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.